Seeing hail reports come in. Large hail that looked about 2 inches in diameter earlier near the Flatwoods, Tennessee area in Wayne County. That's with this storm when it was back to the west. But again, that's your potential tornado right there. And we have a really good location with the orange skit. So we'll click the base of it. All right. And so shear is about 69 miles per hour. BTI is still low as well. The BTI is the Barron Tornado Index. Takes a look at the radar data. It takes a look at the environmental conditions that the storm is in. And then it gives it a 0 to 10 ranking on the likelihood of there being a tornado produced with the storm. The higher the number, the more likely a tornado is. Now, you can still have tornadoes on the ground doing damage with the low BTI numbers like that, but that is a lower ranking number. What you look for is either a higher number, or you look for the BTI to increase rapidly over a few radar scans, or you look for the BTI to be higher on this storm than it is on storms around it. So that's a lower ranking, but still a tornado could drop at any moment. But here are the times of arrival for this rotation. Bachelder at 5:06, Ethra 5:08, Mount Joy at 5:09, Needmore 5:13, Mount Pleasant 5:15, the Ridley area at 5:17, Scotts Mill 5:20, Poplar Top 5:24, Arkland 5:25, Bigbyville and Gant at 5:26. Again, those are times of arrival for our potential tornado in our rotational radar that we have here in the southwest flank of the storm.
And Fred, I want to emphasize that's the ETA, estimated times of arrival, for the portion of the rotating storm. It is raining already and storming in some of those locations that Fred has just read off, but these are times of arrival for the rotating part of the storm. I just want to make sure that's clear.
Right, Kelly, because we're already getting up to golf ball size hail out ahead of that. So don't wait until these times before you move to your shelter. Move to your shelter now. Don't wait. But this is time of arrival for the rotation. And now, again, it's turning a little bit to the right here. And so here are your updated times of arrival. And you can move that box up just a little bit to get it out of maybe the bottom of it out of that crawl. There we go. All right. And so you guys can just see that as it's turned right here a little bit, here are updated times of arrival. Mount Joy 5:11, Rockdale 5:12, Sandy Hook 5:13, Needmore 5:15, Mount Pleasant 5:17, Ridley 5:19, Enterprise 5:19, Scotts Mill 5:22, Broadview at 5:26, Poplar Top 5:26, Southport 5:28, Bigbyville, Tennessee at 5:29, and the Hollywood community at 5:32. And that tells me that this would be coming likely just nearer south of Columbia, Tennessee, and the US 31 corridor here close to 5:34, 5:35, 5:36. All right, National Weather Service is still continuing the tornado warning until 5:15. At 5:03, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was 8 miles northwest of Mount Pleasant. It looks more west of Mount Pleasant on our radar, or 14 miles west of Columbia, moving northeast at 45. But we've seen on radar it's a little more east-northeast. But that western part of Murray County, be in your shelters from this potential tornado. Hohenwald, NACO and Napier, Summertown Metals, the Providence area, on back to the west, the western part of Lewis County, storm zone past you. From this one storm, I can give you an all clear and you can come out of your shelters. The Lawrence County side of Summertown, and like Ben was saying, Summertown leaks up in the southeast Lewis County, it leaks up in the southwest Murray County, but the Lawrence County part of Summertown, what we call Summertown, it's staying off to your north and you don't have to do anything. But from Highway 20 here, just northwest of Summertown proper, back up toward Bachelder and Ethra, Mount Pleasant, Sandy Hook, Enterprise. And I know a few of these locations are just to the south of the polygon, up toward Poplar Top, Bigbyville, the Lebanon Heights area, downtown Columbia, because they're probably going to have to issue a new tornado warning. That's the area of concern, and that does include the US 43 corridor coming out of Summertown up through Mount Pleasant toward the west side of Columbia, If you're traveling on Highway 43, if you're listening to me on a mobile app or with any partners that are carrying us on radio, if you're coming north out of Lawrenceburg, stop before you cross out of Lawrence County in Summertown into Murray County on Highway 43. Stop in Summertown proper. Don't go into Murray County, Tennessee on Highway 43 until we get this cleared. If you're in Summertown proper and you want to go up Highway 20 toward Hohenwald, give it about another 10 minutes. Let's get this rotation on out of the area. If you're in the northern parts of Columbia near Spring Hill and you're coming down 43 and you want to head down toward Mount Pleasant and such, wait until we get the storm on past here before you do, because a vehicle in a tornado situation is a death trap. It does not need to be a higher end tornado to toss a car like a toy, and that could seriously injure or kill you if you're in the vehicle. If you're in these areas and you're traveling, stop, get toward a sturdy structure nearby, be inside away from windows on the lowest floor. And if you're at your home and it's a site-built structure, again, we repeat this a lot, but people come and go in weather coverage. And also we know from social science that in a life-threatening situation, if we're here being calm and repeating the safety steps over and over, it helps keep you a little more calm and in control of yourself as well. The basic tornado safety rules are small room, lowest floor near the center of the building, away from windows, hall, closet, bathroom on the lowest floor near the center of the building, away from windows, leave mobile homes, leave vehicles, cover your head and neck from flying debris. Those are the most important messages we can give you at this time. We'll switch to the live radar velocity here and see what the rotation looks like. And that is a bit more noisy and broad at this time, but there is still a broad low-level rotation here north of Summertown proper in southeastern areas of Lewis County. Eastern Lewis County is just south of Highway 412. So from Ethra and Bachelder down south to what you start calling Summertown in that southeast corner of Lewis County, that's where the rotation is. And that's going to be coming right across Mount Pleasant here, likely within the next 10 to 15 minutes or less. But as far north as Poplar Top, as far south as Enterprise and Sandy Hook, be in your shelters as the storm approaches. But the rotation a little bit broad at this time, which for us not wanting it to be on the ground at this moment, that's a good sign. However, it could tighten up at a moment's notice and produce a tornado on the ground doing damage. So we don't want you to come out of your shelters just because you hear me say that the rotation is broad and it might not be on the ground right this second, because it could get on the ground while I'm in the process of verbalizing that sentence. Have you guys seen anything else that you need to talk about or
I just want to remind the people who may be watching in Hohenwald who we gave the all clear to. There is some more heavy rainfall moving into Hohenwald right now. That is not anything you need to worry about. No warnings, no rotation, no nothing to worry about with that rainfall moving into Hohenwald. That tornadic storm is now crossing into Murray County, basically just crossing over the county line right now.
Right. The rotation threat will be out of Lewis County within the next 5 to 7 minutes. And like Kelly was talking about, there's still heavy rain and lightning back as far west as back as far west as Hohenwald in Lewis County. But tornado threat is off to your east and moving away. But while Kelly's saying that, just because we're saying it's an all clear back there doesn't mean it's an all clear for the rest of today and tonight. There are other storms coming, and I'm not getting a little aggressive there to be rude. I'm being a little more assertive there because we know from studies and event after event and social science that a lot of times people get confused when we say all clear. In this case, we do not mean for the rest of the day. We mean from just this one singular storm. There will be other severe storms coming later in the evening and the overnight that will also have a threat of damaging straight line winds, of hail, of possible tornadoes, and the flash flooding. So here in these next few minutes, if I say that, or Kelly says, or Ben says that your town has an all clear, it's just from this one storm.
The storm spotters with Lawrence County EMA are on this. They still indicate that the there is a rotating wall cloud that they can see, and these are certified spotters that
Okay.
are out on this thing.
And I fully believe that because we know that thing is rotating pretty low here. Because we have that, it's not the tightest thing in the world, but when we have a wall cloud, you guys know it doesn't have to be super tight on radar, but it is low to the ground on radar. So that's, if we don't have a tornado in just a moment's notice, we're very, 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 very close to it. And that's why we need you to stay in shelter. Don't come out of your shelters just yet.
New tornado warning
Okay.
for Lewis and Murray, as we expected with this. Fred, I also want to point out we are well into rush hour at this point. And for folks who are traveling, and I know Fred said this a few moments ago, you have an active tornado warning that now does include the city of Columbia. It does include the city of Mount Pleasant. This thing is kind of wobbling as it continues its east-northeast track at this point. But if you are on 43, get off of 43, get into a stable structure, and you need to wait this thing out because 43 is packed at this time. 31 is packed at this time through Columbia. You've got 125,000 people who live in Murray County now.
Find the nearest fast food restaurant, the nearest gas station,
because
business, whatever.
We are tracking this, and ironically, I had this conversation earlier. Folks in the Hampshire area back through Mount Pleasant to Sandy Hook, and then now on into Columbia, you need to be in your safe place as we speak. Now, can you see they drew a really big polygon for this thing.
As a just in case, because these things cycle. And like we talked about earlier, when a tornado rotation tries to cycle, at the end of the cycle, sometimes they turn left. And then when they intensify again, they turn a little bit right. So they have to give some wiggle room, especially farther out in time. But like you said, Ben, this tornado warning does now include Columbia proper. So from just ahead of the rotation, let's do a manual fan track that goes about the same trajectory as a skit and do it at 45 miles an hour here. And let's give some times of arrival. And this is for the potential rotation, the time of arrival. Poplar Top, 520. Gant, 521. Lebanon Heights and downtown Columbia, 528. Fountain Heights, 533. Beech Grove, 533. Neapolis, 535. Jameson, 535. Lanton, 536. Rock Springs, 536. Spring Hill, Tennessee. That's a little on the northern side, but as a course of least regret there, take that seriously as well. 540. And then on out, if it holds together in the Williamson County, Thompson Station, 544. Berlin, 544. Pottsville, back in our area, 544. And Lee's Corner in our area, 544, time of arrival. Again, a new tornado warning that now includes downtown Columbia in Murray County. That tornado warning, what's the expiration time on that, guys?
The expiration time is
5:45.
Okay, so the new tornado warning for Murray County and that far eastern sliver of Lewis County in Tennessee, that runs until 5:45. That's the only warning we have in the viewing area at this time. Here's our live Mount Pleasant camera, and that's looking back west.
that is due west.
Yeah, that's from the middle of town back due west. That's the hills that you get over.
I'm going to give you north.
Cross over toward there, and then you get over toward the Highway 43 corridor of Mount Pleasant, and you see the low hanging clouds there. We'll watch that as that comes over. Again, while we watch this, I want to say Wayne County, Hardin County, Giles County, Marshall County in Tennessee, we're not ignoring you. There are just no warnings there right now. Northwest Alabama, Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin, Limestone, Lawrence, Morgan, we're not ignoring you. There are just no severe storms there right now. You are under a tornado watch until 11 p.m. Tishomingo County, Mississippi, Hardin County, Tennessee, we're not ignoring you. Your threat comes a little later, but there are no warnings there right now. The only warning we have is this tornado warning coming out of Lewis County, and now for a large part of western, central, and northern Murray County, including Mount Pleasant and downtown Columbia. This is a tornado warning until 5:45. You guys interrupt me if you need to talk over the cam here.
I'm
but-
just looking at the OHX radar from
Okay.
Nashville, and it's got pretty good mid-level rotation, some pretty strong and defined mid-level rotation. I know that scans, a couple thousand feet in
Right.
the air to the Mount Pleasant and Murray County area, but let me go ahead. Okay, so this is due west Mount Pleasant
I
at this
turned it
time.
northwest.
This is due northwest at Mount Pleasant. We can't see over that hill, so whether we point it directly at the rotation, we still won't be able to see or confirm anything. So this just gives us the best view overall. But I'm going to go ahead and close out of this for now. We're going to keep an eye on this back here, but I'm going to go back to our live WLX radar because this thing is almost right on. You're in Mount Pleasant or know someone in Mount Pleasant, there is no time to wait. You need to be in your safe place right now.
Go to OHX and let's take a peek there.
Ben, if you want to, you can double box with the cam so we can still watch it. It's pulled up on Lynx 3.
Okay.
It's already on Lynx 3. You can just hit on the OBS. That's a tight little rotation there just north of downtown Mount Pleasant. That's where it is on the next rad. And then, these storms tilt with height. So it's just a tick southwest of there in the lower levels, nearer just to the northwest of Mount Pleasant. That is your tornadic circulation that we're watching. You see behind me in the small box, that's the live sky cam from Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, looking back up north to northwest at this wall cloud. And that's going to be coming up toward Poplar Top, toward Columbia, toward Lebanon Heights. So I cannot stress this enough. Highway 43 out of Summertown up through Mount Pleasant, up into the Columbia area, all the way up to Spring Hill. Get off of Highway 43, get inside a sturdy structure, the gas station, the closest fast food place that's nearby. Get inside a sturdy structure, away from windows. They will let you in, get into your safe place. Highway 412 from Ethra all the way back through Columbia here, all the way over, obviously all the way to Pottsville. Don't be on Highway 412, that corridor, for this potential rotation as well. US 31 from Bigbyville up through Columbia to Spring Hill. Get off there, sturdy structure, inside away from windows. But again, this rotation is coming from the north side of Mount Pleasant right up toward downtown Columbia as we speak. We can go back to, let's take us back full screen, and then Kelly, you can hit Lynx 3. Radar, and we'll take the Skycam full. This is on Lynx 3. This is looking northwest from downtown Mount Pleasant back up toward that rotation, and that's your low-hanging cloud structure right there. I don't see any signs of a funnel cloud or tornado hanging out of that, but there is the tree line that we have to worry about in Tennessee and North Alabama. You can see the clearing here back to the west. So this feature, I think that may be our wall cloud in the right side. So Ben, if you still have control, if we can pan just a little bit to the right, I think the right half of that large cloud structure may be the wall cloud, but we'll see what we have here.
All right. I'm going to turn you due north.
Okay.
And that is very ominous looking when it turns and updates on your screen here in just 1 second.
Okay. So again, Mount Pleasant, Poplar Top, over to Columbia, including downtown Columbia. Tornado warning till 5:45. Go through your tornado safety plan as you see this and do not wait. Basement or storm shelter if you have it, but if you don't, on the lowest floor of a site-built structure, small interior room, lowest floor, bathroom, hallway, closet near the center of the building, away from windows, cover your head and neck from flying debris, out of vehicles, and out of mobile homes. All right, Lewis County, Tennessee, tornado warning is now over for you since the rotation is solidly into Murray County. So Lewis County, Tennessee, you have been removed from the tornado warning. You were still in a tornado watch for storms coming later, but you are no longer needing to take shelter in Lewis County, Tennessee. The tornado warning is now only for Murray County, Tennessee at this time.
There you go.
Okay. And we are looking, is this due north?
That is due north.
All right. And again, this is the problem we have in what we call Dixie Alley, the southeastern United States version of Tornado Alley. You have hills here, you have trees here that block the line all the way down to the ground, but that's a low cloud base with a pretty decent rotation. So we're going to hold it there for a few minutes and see what we see. Kelly, if you're still mic'd up, I'll let you call out those times of arrival from your radar while we look at the Skycam.
All right, we've got times of arrival for the rotating part of the storm. Poplar Top 526, Columbia, Tennessee 5:35 p.m. Lebanon Heights 5:36, Beech Grove 5:41, Fountain Heights 5:42, Neapolis 5:45, Lanton 5:46, as well as Philadelphia and Rock Springs.
All right, those are times of arrival for this possible tornado based on the low-level rotation on radar. If you're in those areas, don't wait until the times Kelly called out. Be inside, small interior room, lowest floor, away from windows now until we can get the storm on out of here. But this is a significant circulation here just north of Mount Pleasant, and it is headed in the general direction of downtown Columbia here over the next few minutes.
I'm going to switch
Okay.
and pop out of the interactive for just a second.
Okay.
And bring up the, well, I don't know if we still have it in there. Never mind.
What are you looking for?
The Murray County Airport camera.
Yeah, I think it went completely down when we were building all these graphics,
Okay.
and it was
All right.
taken out. So,
I want to go back then to Mount Pleasant. It's not much of a better view. I've got it behind the scenes.
okay.
It's just a closer view of that, but I can still confirm looking at this. Definitely still a rotating wall cloud with it.
Okay. All right. I will let you double box this back so we can do radar beside it as well and storm tracking. And then, yep, got to throw that back on too. There we go. All right, here is your rotation, and it's a little broader on the next rad, but that is riding up Highway 43 on the north side of Mount Pleasant, between Mount Pleasant and Poplar Top. That is coming right up into Columbia and Lebanon Heights here over the next few minutes. It's out here on the west side of the bypass in the next few minutes and then coming into downtown. So be in shelter in downtown Columbia right now. You should have already been. You should have already been in Mount Pleasant. You should have already been in Poplar Top. But if you're hearing this for the first time now, Mount Pleasant to Poplar Top to Lebanon Heights to downtown Columbia, as far north as Spring Hill. Be in shelter as this rotation comes across. Tornado warning continues for Murray County, Tennessee, that expires at 5:45. Again, no tornado damage reports at this time, but that does not mean that we won't have a tornado down in 30 seconds or while I'm in the middle of saying the sentence that we don't have damage yet. So don't wait to go to shelter. Do that now. And like we've been mentioning, there are no other severe storms in any part of our viewing area. If you're back in Lewis County, you still have thunder and lightning. You still have some heavy rain, but the tornado threat is off to your east and moving away now. I will say also, down the line, northern parts of Marshall County, Tennessee, Chapel Hill to the north, watch this carefully. You're not in a warning yet, but if those storms, if that supercell holds together down the line, tornado warning could be required with time for northern areas of Marshall County, Tennessee. That would include Chapel Hill to the north if that rotation holds together. But for now, rotation's back on the north side of Mount Pleasant, between Mount Pleasant and Poplar Top, headed right up toward Columbia, headed right up toward Lebanon Heights at this time. Seeing no other reports, no reports of damage or anything come across at this time.
Got you, Murray 911 pulled up.
Okay. And you can take that full screen for just a minute as well if you guys want to, so we can see what's going on there. This is going to be the Columbia, the Murray County 911.
Is that your wall cloud coming into view in the corner?
We'll have to watch it a few seconds, but that very well could be. Is that looking back toward the west?
That is looking right into it, yeah.
Okay, so we'll watch this over the next few minutes. We could go full screen there on the OBS and just bring this up full. Again, Mount Pleasant, next few minutes, stay in shelter. Poplar Top, stay in shelter. But this circulation is coming up on downtown Columbia and surrounding outlying communities in the next few minutes. But like Ben said, I think we have the wall cloud coming into view now here on the east side of the image. That's our potential wall cloud. So we're going to watch the bottom of this. Ben, do you still have zoom pan tilt control on this?
I do, yes.
All right. See, the left to right is good for now, but see if like up and down we can center that just a little bit.
You want me to bring it down a smidge?
Yeah, let's tilt down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, we'll hold it right there and we'll watch for the next few minutes. I think that's our wall cloud, at least our rain-free base coming over right now.
And now that is at the Murray County 911 facility. That's on the south side of Columbia. And that's actually the hook that you see as the feature on radar. It's right underneath that.
Okay.
That's where it's located.
Okay, and if you want to, we'll leave the cam, but if you want to zoom in tight, call out streets or landmarks or whatever on radar, you go ahead and you feel free to do that.
All right. Again, this is going to be in the, this is coming right into the heart of Columbia at this point. The area that the Murray County 911 facility is located at is right behind the brand new NHC facility there on the south side. Highway 243, if you're familiar with it, in the Pleasant Hills subdivision, give or take, in that area. Folks from the Zion Road area all the way up through James Campbell Boulevard, you need to be in your safe place immediately. And to echo what Fred has said here over the course of the past few minutes, if you were in Columbia, Tennessee, and you were listening, watching, doing whatever with us, you need to be in your safe place right now. We have a confirmed rotating wall cloud. We do not have confirmation of anything on the ground, but aside from that point, you have a ton of lightning in this thing, in addition to a massive amount of hail.
That's been up to golf ball size repeatedly with this storm, so yeah.
So I'm going to, you can, really see that really rocking and rolling on the camera feed now.
On your radar view, make sure that little red ball isn't something suspicious. Switch through your products just so we can make sure. And I'm watching it on this off-screen monitor here as you do.
Okay.
You see what I see.
Yeah.
I just want to be sure. It's probably not.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
I want to,
That's not what I didn't want it to be. That is the area of circulation, but...
Yeah.
Okay, and then reflectivity on that radar, please, sir. Yeah, okay. So that blue that was on your correlation is out in the inflow. Okay, so that's still a tight low-level rotation. We still have our wall cloud here. We have some suspicious stuff on the radar. We wanted to confirm that it was not a debris signature because you don't always have to have a visible funnel in contact with the ground to have a tornado on the ground doing damage. So we just want to make sure we see no signs that we have a tornado down, but that is your loose, low-hanging wall cloud right there coming over the west side of Columbia, coming up into downtown at this time. Again, tornado warning continues, and this includes downtown Columbia. That's going to go until 5:45, and you're scanning from GW. There you go. About to say, you were scanning from GWX on that one.
I forgot that one was feeding the camera view.
Well, that's fine.
I wanted to switch over and take a look. Brian had sent a note about another storm trying to ramp up a little bit. So
Okay, where was it?
not.
Hang on.
Let's see. Not close to us yet.
Okay, so what we have in the viewing area, this is the only severe storm we have, but you can see the clear as day hook echo back here on the west side of Columbia coming right up into this highly populated corridor of downtown. I mean, sometimes we call specific landmarks, and Ben did that just a minute ago, and we call specific streets, but we're talking all those landmarks, all those specific streets right up in the heart of downtown Columbia. That's where the rotation is coming now. We haven't seen it on the ground, but it's rotating in the lower layers of the atmosphere, and it just needs to do one or two more things that could happen in seconds to get a tornado down. So that's why we're concerned with this. That's why we still need you in shelter as far back as Poplar Top, but it's getting on past there the next few minutes. Mount Pleasant, especially Mount Pleasant proper, it's on past you now. This is coming right up, right up into downtown Columbia, as far south as Lebanon Heights on the Highway 31 corridor. Over here, Beech Grove, the Rock Springs area. Be in your shelters if you haven't already been there. Again, potential tornado moving right up, red line, center line here, right up into downtown Columbia. If it's not on the ground, it could be at any moment. And that will be coming right up into one of our most populated communities in our viewing area here at downtown Columbia over the next few minutes. So again, small interior room, lowest floor, such as a bathroom, a hallway, or a closet. Near the center of the building is away from windows. Protect your head and neck. Don't stay in vehicles. Don't stay in mobile homes. Down the line, as this continues to hold together, this is going to be crossing I-65 probably in the next 15 minutes or so. And then we're going to be getting it out here into northern parts of Marshall County, Tennessee down the line, near Chapel Hill or to the north of there. So we'll stop the rotation, go to real time, and let's go ahead and do a storm track from that orange skit because it's well placed with direction and location. Here are times of arrival. Columbia, 537. It's almost on top of Columbia proper. Lebanon Heights, 539. Beech Grove, 544. Rock Springs, 549. Lanton, 550. Leftwich at 555. Hardison Mill at 559. Pottsville at 559. And Lee's Corner at 601. So then extrapolating that out, around 6:05 to 6:15, Chapel Hill northward, this tornadic circulation will be approaching you in Marshall County. And here over the next 15 minutes or so, if this does hold together, tornado warning could be required for the northern part of Marshall County. It would be north of Lewisburg, north of Cornersville, but if this holds together, north of Farmington probably, but especially Chapel Hill and northward on that 31 alternate corridor, there could be a tornado warning here over the next few minutes, but it's moving into Columbia here over the next couple minutes as we speak. So we'll click the skid again and clear all that off. And look at the rotation on radar on storm relative velocity. All right.
This is
still
right on top of Columbia.
Yeah, that's coming right into Columbia Bend. Let's hit our live velocity and see what we have. And it's noisy, but again, it shows the same thing. That low-level rotation coming right up into downtown Columbia proper at this time. So if just by chance you're catching us here at the last minute in Columbia, get into your tornado shelters now and stay there until we can give you the all clear. Back in Mount Pleasant, Poplar Top, Gant, on back toward the Lewis County line. It's east of you and moving away now, but Columbia, Lebanon Heights, Beech Grove, Rock Springs, up toward Lanton, Neapolis, south of Spring Hill, that's your area of concern. Tornado warning till 5:45, and they're probably going to have to issue this on out here farther eastward, places like Pottsville, Lee's Corner, and then over toward Caney Spring, Holt's Corner, and Chapel Hill here over the next few minutes. They're probably going to have to be issuing a new tornado warning that extends over into there.
I'm watching this on the cameras behind the scenes.
Okay.
And you've got a lot of Scud activity showing the inflow in this thing.
Okay.
Going right up into it from the 911 cam. Also have you Fire Station 3 camera when you're ready.
You can get that whenever you want to.
All right. We're going to switch over to the Columbia Fire Station 3 camera. This is going to be on the east side of town, and I've turned it to look back more toward into it.
We just need to get that rain to lift, and we should be able to see something.
There you go. It
Okay.
just updated.
Well, there you are. All right, so this is going to be the wall cloud coming over from the east side of town.
You're now looking straight into it at this point.
All right, so we'll hold the camera here for a few more minutes and see what we see come across. So far, it's just been a low-hanging wall cloud, so we'll see what we have. But the environment is favorable for tornadoes as early as this afternoon. Now, I will say, once we start getting 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that low-level wind shear is going to ramp up stronger than what it is right now. It's kind of borderline right now, and that may be why we haven't had a tornado on the ground with this just yet. We could at any second, but that may be why we haven't already just yet. However, if we still have supercells like this, once we get closer to 6 and especially 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that low-level wind, 5,000 feet above the ground, starts ramping up right as we head closer to sunset. That's going to increase the wind shear, and it may be like a switch that gets flipped with the tornado threat wrapping it up if we still have these individual storms across the area like this one is right here.
Yeah, we're looking, again, this is from Columbia Fire Department's Station 3. This is the new station out behind the school off Bear Creek Pike. And we are looking back to the west, southwest, and that's going to be directly looking straight into the hook. By the way, we also now are on the timer for the tornado warning. Unless they reissue, we've got another 8 minutes left.
Okay. And not seeing anything just yet coming across chat. So we'll see what they decide the next few minutes. I could see them continuing this because the structure hasn't weakened and the low-level rotation hasn't weakened. However, I could also see them considering maybe holding back because we've had it this steady state for this long and it hasn't actually produced a tornado on the ground yet. So I could see the decision going either way. Regardless, if you're in Columbia or eastward right now, toward the Lee's Corner, Pottsville area, Beech Grove, I still need you in your tornado shelters as this rotation comes across. It's over downtown Columbia as we speak and moving into the eastern side of town the next few minutes.
Hang on.
Okay.
Eric, can you see it?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and try to center whatever that is up.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that was Scud earlier. I think this is our wall cloud right here. So we'll watch and see what we have with this. Yeah, because that's your rear flank downdraft back behind it. This is our prominent feature right here that we really need to watch. So we'll hold this right here and we'll watch this the next few minutes. This is our wall cloud coming across right here. If there's going to be a tornado with this storm, it's going to be out of whatever's right here on the camera view right now. So we're going to hold this a few more minutes and see what we see. Again, downtown Columbia and eastward, I still need you to stay in your tornado shelters until we get this on out of here. Tornado warning continues until 5:45. They may have to reissue this. We'll see what they do. National Weather Service in Nashville hasn't said anything just yet. But that is a well-defined low-hanging wall cloud right there.
And it is rotating.
Yeah. And I don't see anything hanging out of the base of it, but that doesn't mean that we won't have a tornado in just a minute. And that also doesn't mean that we may not have a smaller tornado that just doesn't have a visible condensation funnel at this time. Especially the lower end type tornadoes. You can have a tornado on the ground doing damage and you never actually see a funnel cloud because the pressure hasn't fully condensed the funnel yet. So we're going to have to watch that very carefully the next few minutes as that comes across. But this is the Fire Station 3 camera from the east side of town looking back west over town as the rotation comes in.
And I'm watching all sources of information into me. No damage reports from this thing at this point. Just a lot of hail reports.
Okay. While you keep that there on that links, I'm going to take radar for a minute on this one. And I'm going to stay off screen because that camera is what matters at the moment. But your circulation, the potential tornado is on the east side of Columbia right now. It's approaching the Beech Grove area, Union Grove, Rock Springs. It's near or just south of US 412 out here on the east side of downtown Columbia. We'll know within the next couple minutes if they're going to issue a new tornado warning to extend this eastward. Haven't heard anything yet, and I don't see anything hanging out of the wall cloud just yet. I'll do another storm track call-outs and times of arrival, and these will be times of arrival for this potentially tornadic circulation we have on the Skycam right here. All right. Beech Grove is coming upon you, 541. It's almost there now. Rock Springs, 544. Pottsville, 551. Lee's Corner, 553. Caney Spring, 556. Laws Hill, 601. Willowit Mill, 601. Chapel Hill, 601. Holt's Corner, 602. Eagleville, 607. And Unionville at 609. Once we get over toward Unionville, we'll have it out of our viewing area then. But between now and 6:05,
We may have a power flash.
okay.
That's what I thought I just saw.
Yeah. I think
was
we're
a
about
blue
to get,
flash.
yeah. It was a blue flash right on the other side of that hill in the dead center of the screen.
Okay.
And I'm getting,
That looks like a possible funnel
we
right
have
there.
a live, yeah.
Let them know we may have a tornado with power flashes on the Columbia camera, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think we may possibly have a tornado on the ground, at least a brief one, but it may stay. And they're going
Yeah,
to
look
issue.
at that.
Yeah, I see it right here. That's a possible tornado on the ground on the east side of Columbia near Beech Grove. A new tornado warning has been issued for eastern areas of Murray County and now northern parts of Marshall County. We'll get that information in just a moment, but I think we have a possible tornado on the ground here on the east side of Columbia coming up toward Beech Grove. So we're going to hold the camera here. And we've had power flashes under this. The condensation has lowered. The wall cloud's tightened up. You can see the motion here with the rotation. So I think that may be a tornado there under the tree line. And we'll wait until it comes out from these taller trees. But I think that may be a tornado on the ground
Yeah.
right now on the east side of Columbia near Beech Grove, moving to the east-northeast at 45 miles an hour. It's giving, I want to wait until we have a clearer picture, but
Fred, I've
Treat
just
it
lost
as
all
one
data
down.
from that site.
what you got?
I've lost all data from that site.
Okay. So I'll tell you what, double box, so we keep this in the smaller box and we'll put radar in the large box because I want to use this as a visual cue. And we'll track it on radar from here. We potentially have a tornado on the ground on the east side of Columbia near Beech Grove, moving eastward. Let me see. I'll get you lined up.
Okay. Well, do radar over here because what we had on this, that's a really good image.
You're going to need to hit links 3 then if that's the case.
Okay.
And then,
All right. Give us just a couple of minutes, folks.
we're
trying to
switching
navigate
boxes out on the fly, so just a couple minutes.
here. Yeah. The last image that we had was that Doppler. Well,
All right, and now let's.
all right. Brian confirms it is a wedge tornado on the ground. They have a TDS now with this. If you were on the east side of Columbia near Fire Station 3, you need to be underground in your safe place now. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground. And
Yeah, this is just north of what Beech Grove would be listed on the map, but it's over the Beech Grove area on the east side of Columbia. It's very close or just south of US 412 on the east side of Columbia. They also call that little stretch of it Bear Creek Pike, Cranford Hollow Road, Sharp Lane, over toward Carpenter Bridge Road, and then headed toward areas like Pottsville, Rally Hill, Hardison Mill, the Lassia area, the Match area. We have had a confirmed tornado on the ground with this storm. You see in the box on the right, that's the last frame of the Skycam we had with that tornado as it was developing over the Beech Grove area on the east side of Columbia. There is something down with this doing damage at this time.
And again, we had a perfect.
Yeah, we have a debris signature. It also had a reflectivity debris ball. That's your tornado debris signature.
Brian indicates it's a 60 dBz debris ball.
Okay. So that's right on Highway 412, moving up toward the east-northeast. The little match community that's labeled here, the Lassia area that's labeled, the Rally Hill area, Pottsville, Lee's Corner, that's where that's headed to. This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground doing damage. What you got?
Considerable threat on the tornado warning. They're upgrading it.
Okay. And I'll just read the text here. Okay, National Weather Service at 5:45 confirms a large and extremely dangerous tornado down 7 miles northeast of Columbia, moving northeast at 30. This is a particularly dangerous situation with a confirmed large tornado that is on the ground. You see the last camera shots of it. That's not a live camera there on the east side of Columbia. We're leaving that up so that you know there's ground confirmation so you can see it, because we know from over the years from these tornado outbreaks that if we can show you a live camera or a live stream of a tornado down, you'll react. Whereas radar here sometimes is a bucket of spilled paint. So that's the tornado that has been down. That's not where it is now, but that's our last live shot of it when it was developing and getting down. That's the current location with the debris signature. It's just come across US 412, but as far south as Beech Grove for another 5 minutes, as far back west as Jackson Heights for another 5 minutes. Be in shelter underground if you can get there, but if there's no underground, that's okay, and don't panic. Go to a small interior room on the lowest floor, such as a bathroom, a hallway, or a closet near the center of the building, away from windows. Take pillows and blankets with you. If you guys have bicycle helmets, take those with you. If the kids have football helmets or batting helmets, if you guys have motorcycle helmets, construction hard hats, sturdy textbooks, metal cooking pots, not just the kids, everybody in the home. Take something sturdy, cover your head from flying debris, okay? Let's see what we got.
Looks like we've got a lot of tree damage in the area.
Okay. What you're seeing in the right is the live view of the camera now that had the tornado on the ground a couple minutes ago. If we see something still in the camera shot, we will take that full screen. Otherwise, that is double boxed up with a tornado debris signature still on radar. This blue dot, this means that there is a tornado confirmed on the ground. This is not a guess. This is not, I think. This is not an estimate. This is a confirmed, we know 100% tornado in touch with the ground. The blue means stuff is being lofted into the air because damage is being done. You need to be in shelter northeast of downtown Columbia. It's coming out here toward the Lee's Corner area from Pottsville up Lee's Corner in shelter. From I-65, from Rock Springs all the way up to the Williamson County line, be in shelter. It's going across I-65 in the next few minutes, just north of Highway 412. This is coming up toward that General Lee's Corner area. And if we could click that orange skit and get some times of arrival here, here are some times of arrival for this confirmed large tornado on the ground. And now you see the difference in the radar algorithms. Earlier, an hour ago, that BTI was a 3. Now it's a 7. The wind shear is 92 miles per hour. Everything's ramped up. This is a tornado on the ground. Here are times of arrival. Pottsville, 6 o'clock. Lee's Corner, 6:01. Lively, 6:04. Bear Wallow, 6:08. Thick, 6:10. Bethsaida at 6:10. Holt's Corner, 6:15. Chapel Hill, 6:15. Again, tornado warning is now not only for northeastern Murray County, Tennessee. It's on past downtown Columbia. So downtown Columbia, you can come out of your shelters, but the northeast quadrant of Murray County, Tennessee, tornado warning, and that's now in effect for the northern part of Marshall County, Tennessee, from Caney Spring to Chapel Hill, up through Holt's Corner, a new tornado warning, and this is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation with a confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado on the ground right now. Now I see on the radar view, we have another storm that's right behind it that's kind of following the outflow boundary coming up on the west side of Columbia. So we'll look at that in just a second.
I'm going to take that
Okay.
on links too. Kelly, you maintain doing what you're doing for him.
Yeah, Ben, you check that out behind the scenes to make sure that's not another one coming up on Columbia. But this is our confirmed tornado crossing I-65 north of Rock Springs, just north of Highway 412, in the next 1 to 2 minutes. So if you're traveling here on I-65 and north of the Highway 412 exit, stop and shelter. You're in danger. Large confirmed tornado down, about to cross I-65. It's going to be crossing Highway 431 north of Pottsville, very close to the Lee's Corner area, or just south of that, in between the two communities. That is a confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado on the ground where that blue speck on the radar is. This is correlation coefficient. This is how we track tornado debris on radar. And what that blue dot tells us, that there's stuff in the air that doesn't correlate size and shape compared to the raindrops and hailstones around it. And when we correlate that with rotation, we know there's a tornado down. And earlier, we watched it develop live on the Skycam. It developed into a wedge before we lost the Skycam. We know this is a large, extremely dangerous, life-threatening tornado on the ground right now that's about to cross I-65 north of Highway 412, head up toward the Lee's Corner area, moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour. Again, small interior room, lowest floor, basement storm shelter if you have it, but if not, don't panic. Small interior room of a site-built structure away from windows until this passes. Cover your head and neck from flying debris. You can't be in vehicles. You can't be in mobile homes. Those are death traps during a situation like this. So we'll clear off the track here by clicking that skit one more time. It's taking a little bit of a northeasterly track, so I think this is squaring up for Lee's Corner here in the northeast corner of Murray County. Lee's Corner is here on Highway 431 in the northeast corner. That's your tornado confirmed on the ground, about to cross I-65. We'll zoom in tight and see if we can pick up some. I'm sorry to interrupt what you're doing, Kelly, here. We'll see if we can get some roadway labels on here. And if you want me to, if you're sending out social media, I can step off.
I'm good. I've got the post out.
Okay, so the little community here that's labeled Lassia, this tornado is on you now, and it's crossing I-65 here just to the north of US 412. It's about to be crossing Joe Brown Road. It's about to be coming up Rally Hill Road, getting close to that little Rally Hill community that sits between Pottsville and Lee's Corner. That's the area where this is about to cross.
Fred, they're dropping a tornado emergency on this cell.
Okay. All right, this is a tornado emergency. This is the highest level of a tornado warning that you have. I need you to take this very seriously. This is a potentially life-threatening situation. This is a tornado emergency. This could be a strong to violent, higher-end type tornado that's on the ground crossing I-65 right now. That's the damage it's doing, and that blue blob you see. This is as serious of a situation as you get. The reason we're not switching back and forth between radar products and looking at velocity is this is all we need right here to know what's going on. This is a large, confirmed, potentially violent tornado that's on the ground right now. This is one of the more serious tornado situations we've had here in our 4-year history of Tennessee Valley weather. That's how seriously I need you to take this. National Weather Service now declaring a tornado emergency for northeastern parts of
Murray
and the northern part of Marshall counties. Had to catch my breath there just for a second. I'm going to read off the text of the warning. A tornado emergency. A tornado emergency. That's still a tornado warning, but it's the strongest wording. It's the last bullet in the gun that we have to fire off to warn you. A tornado emergency has been issued for northeast Murray County, southern Williamson County, and southwest Rutherford County, and we're going to add to that far northern areas of Marshall County in Middle Tennessee. This remains in effect until 6:15. A confirmed large and destructive tornado was located 9 miles east of Columbia. That's it right there, crossing I-65, moving to the northeast at 25 to 30 miles an hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Weather spotters and radar have confirmed a large tornado here. This is a particularly dangerous and life-threatening emergency situation in northeastern areas of Murray County, about to move into that far northern part of Marshall County. If there's any way you can be underground, I need you to be there now. But if you don't have an underground shelter or a basement, it's okay. Don't panic. Don't think your situation is hopeless. Go to a small interior room on the lowest floor of a site-built type home, not a mobile home, not a trailer home. It has to be built on site to a foundation. Go to a bathroom, a hallway, or a closet on the lowest floor, away from windows. Protect your head and neck from flying debris. Be out of mobile homes. Be out of vehicles as this approaches. We'll get times of arrival one more time by clicking that skit. For this large, that's perfect right there. Okay, Lee's Corner, 5:59. Don't wait those extra 3 minutes. Be in your shelter now. This is an emergency. This is as serious as this gets. Be in your shelter now. Time of arrival for Lively, 6:01. Debris signature is getting larger as it crosses I-65. Bear Wallow, 603. Thick, 605. Holt's Corner, 608. Beasley, 611. Eagleville, Tennessee, 612. Kirkland, 614. But as far south as Holt's Corner and Chapel Hill and Caney Spring, I need you to take the same immediate emergency action to protect your life. Your life is in immediate danger if you're ahead of this. This is a large, confirmed, dangerous tornado that's on the ground, possibly doing major high-end type damage, crossing I-65, headed up in this general direction of the Lee's Corner area, the Lively area, coming out of Murray County the next 10 or so minutes, coming into the northern part of Marshall County, Tennessee, as far south as Caney Spring, Chapel Hill, up through Holt's Corner, the Bear Wallow community, Lively, and the Thick communities. Again, we're not just guessing that something might be here. We know that it's there. What you got, Ben?
Fred, I've been kind of looking around a little bit on the other radar sites to get an idea how powerful this thing is. You have a TDS that is showing tremendous force. The Huntsville NexRad has it over 5,000 feet up at this point. And we do have the TDS algorithm that has now triggered on our links.
And that thing's a little conservative. It's a little strict. So when you see that gray cylinder, what happens is the gray cylinder doesn't show up until after it processes the full volume scan. So the location of the gray cylinder that you see on radar is always going to be behind the current location of the tornado. But that gray
26,000 feet.
How many?
26,000 feet.
All right, so this is likely a higher end type tornado.
Yes.
We have debris being lofted up to 26,000 feet. We have our radar expert, Brian Wilson, watching things behind the scene. He's actually been recovering from an injury, and that's why he's not in office. He's fine, and he'll be back Friday, but he's watching radar behind the scenes. 26,000 feet is how high debris is being lofted. Let's go to storm relative velocity for just a moment. And okay, here's let's clear the track. That's not what we're going to do. I want us to click the brightest green on the pixel query and the brightest red next to it, what we have. So -70 one direction, 43 the other. So we have over 100 miles per hour of tight rotation and debris that's being lofted 26,000 feet above the ground. That tells me, from long time research and just for the past couple weeks with the tornadoes out in the Plain States and how they behaved, that this could be an upper end type tornado. We don't rate tornadoes based on radar. We don't rate them in real time. We don't rate them based on what they look like or anything like that. They're rated based on damage after things are done. However, when you combine the environment it's in with how high the debris is and how violent that rotation is, this tornado is capable of EF3 or greater type damage. That means it could possibly be as strong as that Clifton, Tennessee tornado last March and back through McNairy County, or stronger. That's the type of tornado this is. That's why this is a life-threatening emergency situation here in Northeast Maury County in northern Marshall County, Tennessee. Again, we're focusing on this because this is the only severe storm in the entirety of our viewing area at this time, but this is as serious as it gets here. This is a confirmed, large, potentially upper end violent tornado that's on the ground. So we'll clear off the pixel query. We'll go back to correlation coefficient, and let's zoom in tight on this area. And which radar is this being? Is this
This is
Nashville?
OHX, Nashville.
Oh, okay, Kelly, you got it. Okay. So that's your debris signature. That is crossing US 431 here right now over the little community of Rally Hill that sits between Pottsville and Lee's Corner. Next, it's going to be into the Lively area over here in the Marshall County, Tennessee. And then we're talking about places like Bear Wallow, the little community of Thick, as far south as Caney Spring, Chapel Hill, and Holt's Corner. You need to be aware of this. We'll keep panning on a look at some of these roads that are downstream. We have Lund's Store Road here, Moss Road here. We can keep panning off to the east. Sweeney Lane, Egypt Road, Smiley Road. This is where this thing will be going over the next 10 minutes or so, or a little bit longer. If you're out in these areas of northern Marshall County over toward 31 alternate from Chapel Hill northward, shelter now. This is a tornado emergency. What you got?
Fred, I have Maury County EMA Director Jeff Hardy live on the air. Jeff, tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in light of this wedge tornado that's crossed over.
Yes, sir. So we're getting early reports right now. Multiple trees down, trees on homes. We've had several people injured or trapped. We don't know the extent just yet. Our crews are on scene and working through that right now.
Jeff, thank you. Godspeed. We'll be in touch.
Thanks, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
That was Jeff Hardy with Maury County EMA.
All right, continue to go down to see what else we have coming across chat. Let's see.
Your latest
That should be an update to the tornado emergency. That little siren sound is emergency. So they've just updated this, what they've done.
I don't know if you were able to hear Jeff, and I apologize if you weren't, but he does indicate widespread damage through Maury County. They have reports of trees on homes. They do have reports of injuries and entrapment in residences throughout the tornado path at this point. Maury County first responders are trying to get to those areas affected at this point.
All right, the tornado emergency continues. Let's see. All right, this was as of 1 minute ago. Tornado emergency here for northeastern Maury County, northern Marshall County, southeast Williamson County, southwest Rutherford County. Now, how our viewing area is laid out, Rutherford County, Williamson County, not in our viewing area technically, but at this point, I don't care. These areas are in danger. You see the flashing white outline here to the red polygon. We have that to where that gets our visual attention that this is not just a regular tornado warning. This is a tornado emergency. Tornado emergency continues here until 6:15 for these areas. A confirmed large and destructive tornado was located 7 miles southeast of Spring Hill or 12 miles east of Columbia. It was located between Pottsville and Lee's Corner, crossing out of Maury County into Marshall County. It looks like it's going to be crossing the line the next minute or two if it hasn't already. Tornado emergency for these areas. This is a particularly dangerous situation with a deadly tornado that is on the ground confirmed. They say that they call this doing the potential for catastrophic damage. That's the kind of situation this is. This is not wording they use often. The National Weather Service in Nashville is pretty strict with when they pull the trigger on a tornado emergency. If you think back to December 9th, north of our area, those really bad tornadoes in Clarksville and northeast of Nashville that did all that damage last December and flattened homes and things of that nature, this is a similar situation. That's the kind of seriousness that this is. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous, and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows if in a mobile home or vehicle or outdoors. Move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. If there's any way you can get underground, that's the best place. But if you don't have underground shelter, that's okay. Don't panic. Don't think the situation is hopeless. Small interior room, the house if you're looking for safety rules.
Yeah.
I bet that's what you're looking for. It's a little house button just below the Thunderbolt button.
Oops. I knew I would mess up something today.
Yeah, we built a new toolbar for this spring, so we're just getting used to it. Here are the standard safety rules, and I'll step off the screen. A basement, storm shelter, or certified safe room is the safest place you can be. But if you don't have that, it's okay. If you don't have that, don't let that make you think the situation is hopeless. Go to a small interior room on the lowest floor, as close to the center of the building as possible, away from windows. Usually that is a bathroom, a hallway, or a closet on the lowest floor. If you're upstairs on the second floor, you go down to the first floor. You get toward the center of the building, as close to the middle as you can. Protect your head and neck from flying debris. Pillows, blankets, flip the couch over in the hallway if you have to. If you guys have bicycle helmets, if the kids have football helmets, batting helmets, if you guys have motorcycle helmets, ballistics helmets that some folks do at the shooting range. I know some law enforcement do that type of thing at times. Hard hats for construction, a metal cooking pot as a last resort. It's not just the kids, it's everybody in the family. If you have a toddler or an infant, strap them in the car seat, take that with you. That's added protection as well. Get into your safe place, cover your head and neck from flying debris. You have to leave mobile homes, you have to leave vehicles, and head to a sturdy, reinforced structure. Don't wait. It's not just a guess. We know there's a large upper end, deadly, life-threatening tornado on the ground. We've had reports of major damage back in Murray County. We've had reports of confirmed injuries and entrapment from emergency management. This is a tornado emergency. Now the rotation the next few minutes is crossing out of Murray County, crossing solidly over into Marshall County. So we'll take the radar back, see where the tornado is at this time. And there's your hook. It's going to be in the tip area of the hook here. It should be the next minute or two crossing out of Murray County in toward northern parts of Marshall County, Tennessee. It's headed in the general direction of Holt's Corner, but as far south as Chapel Hill proper and Caney Spring, I still need you to stay in your shelter. Again, this is not just one of these iffy little tornado warnings. This is a confirmed large, dangerous, potentially violent tornado on the ground. Now, we don't use the word violent too often. That's some really, really strong wording that means that this could be a top portion of the scale intensity top tornado there based on how high the debris has been lofted, how strong the rotation is, the environment that it's in. We don't rate tornadoes based on radar, but we think it's been capable of producing EF3 or stronger type damage coming out of Murray County, now into Marshall County.
All right, they're going to issue a new tornado warning for the Marshall storm. Velocity continues to decrease, so it will be a base tornado warning,
Okay.
but we'll continue with the confirmed tag.
Okay, so what's happening now is that this may have peaked a little in intensity, but it's still on the ground. So they're going to back off on the emergency wording, but they're going to keep that confirmed wording because it's still on the ground. So this has been a higher end, way up there on the damage scale type tornado, but it may have peaked in intensity. It doesn't mean it's any less dangerous. A tornado is a tornado, whether it's an EF0, EF1, EF2, EF3, EF4, or an EF5, it doesn't matter. And we know that there's still a tornado down coming up toward the Holtz Corner area. It's going to be crossing 31 alternate here, north of Chapel Hill, up near Holtz Corner, or just south of there. And then over the next 15 minutes, coming out of Marshall County. If you're back in Murray County from this storm, it's past you now. I know there's going to be cleanup. There's search and rescue ongoing, that type of thing. But this tornado has
New warning is until 6:45.
Okay, so new tornado warning for northern Marshall County until 6:45. It's the new polygon here. It's still a confirmed tornado, but they're going to move away from that emergency wording now, which is, it improves the situation a little bit, but it's still a dangerous situation where you need to stay in shelter. That's still a large debris signature crossing Holtz Corner right now, though. It's clear as day. But for Murray County, it's out of there now from this one storm. And let's look at that second storm that we've had coming across Murray County. Let's go to storm relative velocity right there near the 412 and 65.
That thing?
Okay. Let's go to reflectivity. Okay. We have a couple of notches in here. The lead tornado has moved out of Marshall County. But because we have a couple more notches in here, if you're from Beech Grove and Match back eastward, just to be absolutely safe, hold it in your shelter until we get that last notch out of here, or until they remove the tornado warning from Murray County. That's not the main circulation that's been producing this large violent tornado, but it still looks a little bit suspicious. And when we have a situation like this, we play it as safe as we possibly can. If you're here from north of Beech Grove, Match, these same areas that had the first tornado, still stay in shelter either about 15 more minutes or until I can tell you that the tornado warning has been dropped for Murray County. The main circulation where we have a large tornado on the ground is over in northern Marshall County now, coming up on the Bear Wallow area. It's passed through Lively, Tennessee, and it's coming up on Holtz Corner here over the next couple of minutes, if it's not already there. So we'll center back up on our main circulation over in northern Marshall County. And we'll go back in tight. We were just needing to center it in the view. And let's go to storm relative velocity. Yeah, that's showing our couplet up here very near Holtz Corner. The appendage, that reflectivity may not be as updated. The rotational velocity is up here near Holtz Corner. And now we'll go to correlation coefficient. Yeah, so I think our tornado is near the Holtz Corner area right now. Now back to the west, just because there's a little radar discrepancy, and even because we have that other storm that we're suspicious about, still, if you're back in Thick, Bear Wallow, or Lively, hold it in your shelter for a little while longer. But I think that original large tornado is up here near the Holtz Corner area now, crossing 31 alternate in the far, far northern tip of Marshall County, Tennessee. Again, tornado warning continues until 6:45, and they still have this as a confirmed tornado on the ground, which we completely agree with. I'll read the text here. Confirmed tornado at 6:10 was located 8 miles southeast of Spring Hill. Moving to the east at 25. A damaging tornado was confirmed down. And again, guys, this has had a history of significant damage. We've had major damage back in eastern parts of Murray County, Tennessee. We spoke with the EMA director there on the phone just a minute ago. Ben did. We have confirmed reports of structural damage. We have confirmed injuries, and we have confirmed entrapment. And we don't know how much more serious than that it is.
I've also seen reports on social media from Murray County EMA of several structures collapsed.
Okay, so again, guys, this is not just lower end type damage. This is some serious major structural damage that we've had with this situation. And this is still a confirmed tornado down. We still have debris on radar here near Holtz Corner. And then off to the northeast of this, there could be debris falling out of the sky out ahead of this tornado. And then we'll watch that suspicious storm back to the west. I do think they have dropped the tornado warning back to the west, so it's looking like that may not be tightening up. They have. Okay, so our concern is this lead circulation that's near the Holtz Corner area now, north of Chapel Hill. But if for no other reason than those really strong winds that wrap around south of a tornado called the rear flank downdraft, as far as south is Chapel Hill for the next 10 minutes, I still need you to stay in your tornado shelter, but it looks like the tornado has passed very close to Holtz Corner, and it's within 5 minutes of moving out of our viewing area.
Nashville is concerned with cycling on this.
Okay.
And it does look like it's about to spin back up.
Okay, so let's go to velocity then, because I firmly believe that being. Yeah, and I see that that's going to be closer to Chapel Hill. That may be your secondary circulation trying to tighten up down there. So again, as far south as Chapel Hill, stay in shelter. And then we still have a broader circulation back here on the county line that's moving into northern parts of Marshall County as well. So from Caney Spring, Willowette Mills, Chapel Hill, north through the county, I still need you in shelter. The lead large tornado has come across Holtz Corner and it's about to move out of the viewing area, but we still have additional circulations here coming across northern parts of Marshall County, Tennessee at this time. You guys have been looking at damage reports and other things. I'll let one of you talk for a couple minutes and just summarize the type of reports that you've had so far.
So I've been checking various social media outlets and seeing what other people are saying. It looks like the most extensive damage so far is that northeastern portion of Murray County, of course, how we've been tracking the storm and the confirmed tornado since it touched down just east of Columbia, Tennessee. And we've been tracking it now through the northeastern portion of Marshall County. I've been seeing reports like we got from the Murray County EMA director. We got multiple trees down, trees on homes, as well as people trapped inside homes and structures. Reports of structures and buildings collapsed. We don't know the extent of that damage specifically. We've got reports of multiple injuries. At this time, we don't know the extent of those injuries either. Of course, everyone, the storm has just moved through. We still have some more storms to go, some rain still moving through Columbia. So it may be a while till we know exactly the extent of what this tornado has done in eastern Murray County, as well as portions of very northern Marshall County. So right now, all of these reports very preliminary, but I expect them to continue to come in over the next little bit as people, now start search and rescue.
All right, thank you, Kelly.
I'm bringing Fred off the camera for just a second. I want you to look at this. We got this sent to us, if it will open, and it probably won't. I've got to load it in over there to show it on the air. But no, it actually did. There we go. We have a time lapse of the...
That was it right there.
Yeah. Right before we lost our feed to our Fire Station 3 camera of the cycling of the tornado, and then the genesis of this thing dropping on the ground. And
it was a wedge from the start.
Yes, it was. This is probably, in our existence, probably one of the worst tornado events, potentially, that we've dealt with. Now, Lord forbid anybody's lost their life. Last year, 11 people were killed in a storm that was technically outside of our viewing area when the fatalities occurred, but nevertheless, it's still something that is still very close. Right. And just to let people know where we are, and kind of what we're doing here behind the scenes, but to give you an idea as we continue to track and watch this thing over the course of the next little bit.
Well, like we were talking about in real time, in terms of the potential intensity of this tornado as it was coming across Murray County into Marshall County, in terms of the potential intensity of it, this was just as serious as that McNairy County to Clifton, Tennessee to Lewis County big wedge tornado back overnight March 31st of last year. It was just that serious, if not more serious than that, because we had debris lofted 26,000 feet above ground level. And when you have a clear signature of debris that high and rotation as strong as it was on radar in an environment like this, oftentimes, not every time, but oftentimes we get EF3 or stronger type damage out of that. So we can take it back full screen or key wall and radar, and I'll step back in if I can talk. That might be nice. Let's see.
I'll get that loaded in for you.
Okay.
If you want to show that, you can.
Okay. Here in the meantime, this is our Tornadic Supercell. This rotation will be crossing out of Marshall County and out of the viewing area and firmly over into far northern parts of Rutherford County, Bedford County, and Williamson County, and these regions out of the viewing area here within the next 5 minutes. So that's going to be moving out. If you're north of Chapel Hill near the Holtz Corner area, stay in shelter for about another 3, 4, 5 minutes, but that's on the way out. Let's hit the DMA view button and we can do radar network. Just want to do a reset just because we've been focusing on one storm for a while. We just do the DMA, but do the radar network with it. I just want to show the big view for everybody. That's the only severe storm we have in the viewing area right now. It's this one violent supercell that started back out here near Clifton, Tennessee earlier this afternoon, has tracked across Lewis County, Murray County, now through Marshall County, and is moving out of the viewing area. There are a couple of storms back near the Etheridge and Alexander Springs and Summertown area on the Giles and Lawrence County line in the northeast part of Lawrence County. That's not anywhere close to severe at this time. There are some spotty showers in other parts of southern middle Tennessee. There's still some lightning and heavy rain left over in Murray County, Tennessee, but the Tornadic Supercell is moving out of our viewing area. Northwest Alabama for now, you were quiet. But all of our middle Tennessee counties, all of our northwest Alabama counties are still under a tornado watch through the late evening, and it will be carrying into the pre-dawn hours. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination. This is the first storm. This is not the last. There will be additional severe weather as we head through the overnight and the early morning hours of our Thursday. So
I've
what
got
you
this
got?
queued up if you want to see it real quick.
Take
We'll go
Kelly
to him
right-
real quick.
Okay, whichever you want to do, guys.
I just wanted to reiterate, so we have confirmed damage in parts of Murray County and potentially parts of Marshall County. Do not flock to these locations. There are so many people who are trying to get to these locations and reports of so many trees covering roads that emergency personnel are having a hard time to get to these places. So if you are out trying to sightsee, do not do that. Let the professionals be the professionals, and they will call for help if they need additional help. The more crowding and the more traffic that there is, the harder that the actual professionals will be able to get to the people and places in need.
Which means they're further in danger, and you are putting them in a life-threatening situation by blocking the roads. Now, Ben, I'll let you talk because this is that Skycam footage right here.
Brian was able to do this behind the scenes for us. And what you're seeing is our live footage of, sped up a little bit, of the tornado touching down. This originally touched down just to the west of Fire Station 3, if you're familiar with it, out on Bear Creek Pike. And we lost that camera feed, unfortunately, right as the tornado touched down. We were able to get it back a few moments later, but this is those, I guess, probably minute and a half worth of footage of as it touched down, and it was a classic wedge tornado from the beginning. This is incredible footage, and you can see right about there
This is where it was clear what it was.
yeah, where we had the power flash. If you watched right there,
Right
power
there
flash.
it is. Yep.
So
Again, this is not now. This is not currently in
Yeah.
East Columbia. This is we've re-racked the footage, and this is from earlier when we had it just east of Columbia, of the development of this large wedge tornado that's come across eastern Murray County, northern Marshall County, and now it's in the process of moving out of the viewing area. If one of you guys hit SRV on one of those computers back there, doesn't matter which one, I just want to peek behind the scenes. Yeah, rotation's out of the county now. So the threat for Marshall County from this one storm is coming to an end at this time. So we have the large view of the radar here. On this view we have, let's hit that exclamation point and show the watch warning map and just show an overview of everything. All right, here are the watches and warnings across the area. We still, technically, because it takes a little while for this to be cleared out, we still have these flashing red tornado warning polygons up here, Murray County's clear from this storm. It's now moving out of Marshall County, and from this one storm, the danger is over. So effectively, we're going to say that the tornado threat from Marshall County has ended as well. The thunderstorm still has lightning and heavy rain and gusty winds up near the Holtz Corner, but the tornado's moved out now. All the rest of the dark shaded area, that's a tornado watch into the late evening. On the Tennessee side, it goes until 9 p.m. On the Alabama side, it goes until 11 p.m. There are no other warnings for any part of the viewing area, and we can now effectively scratch these off the board because the storm's moved out. So,
of note,
threat's not ending yet. What you got, Ben?
I was just going to say, and I didn't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry. Several counties, including Lawrence County, have deployed to Murray.
Oh, well, so that tells the seriousness of the situation. So with it, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're about to wrap up for now. With the seriousness and what this situation is, we need to look back over damage reports and get information and things like that. So what we're going to do, since that tornado threat's moved out of the viewing area with that storm, we're going to scale back coverage. We're still here watching things carefully. We're going to work on damage reports. We also need to record our evening and overnight weather forecast for the Weather Channel as well, because the most recent we have on there is for midday, because this blew up this afternoon before anything ever happened. So while there's no life-threatening storm in the viewing area right now, we're going to go ahead and end coverage. Should additional storms go severe, we will be right back in a heartbeat with a moment's notice. And now that we have a tornado watch, we are live with updates anyway at the top of every hour until the watches are gone. So should another warning be issued, we'll be back as soon as that happens. Otherwise, our next live scheduled update will be at 7 p.m. and then live at the top of every hour through the overnight threat. Should any severe thunderstorm warnings be issued, we'll be back at a moment's notice. And should another tornado warning be issued, we'll be back with live nonstop coverage. For Kelly Rawson and Ben Luna, I'm Fred Gossage, live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.